the rules
That's
and
the best
everything
thing I've
that
ever had in my life.
you have to follow and Fair Labor Standard Act. Right.
Have you heard from Jack?
I have not.
Yes, she's perfect.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
I think we're ready to get started. So we will open the meeting. Jason, you are up. Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Good.
We get donuts, but there's no donuts available.
Oh, no.
We're not that cheap, we gotta spend more than that, honestly.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
Well, they're closed too. So after, the budget meeting, the first thing I wanted to talk about really quickly, and I'll try not to take up too much of your time, I know everybody has some place to be. I think we figured out, and I talked to Beth, why our budget on the EMT side versus the paramedic side was, I guess, lopsided. In the past, when we've had the opportunity to hire a brand new paramedic or send somebody to school, when they get done with school, they get paid raise. And so in the past 2 years, we've been lucky to have one go to school and hire a medic in anticipation of a retirement. So when we took those opportunities and agreed with the commissioners, in the past, we've typically left one person on one side of the payroll and paid out. And that's why I think our budget numbers are a little skewed now based on the used amount versus what's left on the EMT side. Numbers were heavy one paramedic and technically down one EMT, even though there's a position filled. It's just a different pay rate, so it's been coming out of the paramedic side. So I think that's the big reason when we looked at those. If you do the math on how many positions, it comes out to what we were requesting, but in reality, we have an extra position, so there's a little bit of extra pay involved with it. And so that, I don't know why I didn't think about that when we were looking at it, but when we were doing, I don't remember what we were working on, I realized that we had the extra paramedic, and so that's why. So just so you guys are aware of the situation, so which was, it was very odd to see that much money for us this part of this late in the year. So, but I think it helps explain why. The other part is just I put some thoughts together. Maybe I should have done this more so at the budget meeting, and so these are my thoughts, and not to be offensive in any way or any manner, but a lot of it's questions and explanations as a taxpayer and obviously as an employee of the county. First off, I'm appreciative of where we've gotten, especially the hill we've climbed in dispatch to meet the standards, provide quality public safety. We've came quite a long way since 2011. As a department head, it's my job to look out for our staff. And so with that, I have some questions that pertains to raises. And the bottom line is why 4%, and we can answer that after. I was excited to hear the sheriff's win for a matrix, but also disappointed after being told a couple times in the past that our council would never do that because that's why we have longevity. I think a win in public safety is a win for everyone, and maybe I should have advocated more in the council meeting for something like that for my staff, but I don't like to repeat myself with you guys or the commissioners and try the same doom or gloom. You know, this is what's happening, this is where things are going approach, because you guys are all aware of the situations. So I had reserved myself to that no and left it at that. It would have been great to work together like Newton County to benefit all of public safety for some sort of matrix that goes into place. And we had discussed that in the past also. So maybe it's my fault for not bringing something like that up. I think it's a great win for the sheriff's department, and that's definitely good for our deputies because they definitely deserve more money. I requested a 10% raise because my staff deserves it, and I think that's one of the things as a department head that we should advocate for. Obviously, I didn't spend a lot of time because, again, I don't like to repeat a lot of those things to you guys. You guys have lots of things to consider. We certainly do different jobs and accept different risk. In 2011, I was told we got extra pay for overtime. When asked by the county highway, I made more than most of my staff. Well, that's been a long time. Over the years, we've made great strides in equipment, pay, a cash balance from negative 30,000 to whatever we're sitting at now, which is quite significant changes over time. I'm lucky, I feel like my agency set them aside ourselves, and I think our county employees do too. But the big kicker is when my staff sees things like the sheriff's department, gaining, the matrix. By ordinance, they have a special retirement, which is fine. County highway gets PERF set at 11%. It takes away that we do different jobs. My point is that whenever we can give payer benefits is definitely worth it because we have employees that we have to take care of. We were compared to courthouse employees in the past, than public safety as a whole, and we're always told that we make more. The bottom line is we work an average of 900 hours more, sometimes 1,000, to get that pay. And we've decided in the past that that's a wash. We can hire those employees to cover those positions, but by the time you add benefits, retirement, you know, that becomes a closer number, and it's easier just to have the staff work as agreed. And so my concern is not so much now, but going forward, if we don't continue raises at a decent platform, you know, bordering counties like Jasper County starting base pay is $96,000 a year. Can we match that? No. Obviously, I think it's definitely a stride that's very difficult. Fountain County's in the same boat, $96,000 starting pay. And then they start with PERF as a retirement option. And so my ask would be, and I know that it's probably not a feasible ask, but is reconsider the raise. Inflation estimates are at 2.9%, and the cost of living is at 10%. All of our departments share the same demographics that you guys are all aware of, I know. Single parents, multiple families under one roof, medical debt, all those things that we all face. From a taxpayer standpoint, and even an employee, I know you guys had to cut some money, and I know we shut down the county home to hopefully save some of that money and look at those cuts, but I don't get to see everything that you guys get to see. That's your job, and luckily not mine. And so out of this, my other question is, in the future, in your future, to research and consider moving EMS employees to PERF as an added benefit. That seems to be something that's generalized for public safety across the state as an added benefit that they do get PERF. I know there's, at the town, we just did that for all of our employees. It's only 13, obviously, but it was an option that we researched and did to add to the employee benefit package. And so I know where you guys are coming from as town board president of having to make these decisions, but I guess that was kind of my spiel that I wanted to get out and discuss with you guys. And if there's no good answer, there's no good answer. But it also helps me explain to my staff, you know, why that number. You know, I get it. You guys have the whole county to worry about. And I wasn't here for the rest of the meetings and what all the considerations were, so I'm here to be able to understand and be able to pass that on to my staff. Obviously, 4% is definitely better than 0. And everybody's appreciative of anything that we can get, but I think in the job world now, it's a competitive thing, and the better I can explain things, I think the better off we are, or I am, to hopefully retain those employees. Not that we're fortunate not to have a high turnover rate. So I wanted to come and ask that question and see what your response was. But bottom line is, everybody is appreciative of the support that we do get. Like I said in the council, the budget meeting, we've definitely climbed a massive hill in both agencies and even in emergency management to be at a quality area. And so I think now we just need to maintain for a while and keep moving where we're at. So.
Can you tell me, so it's hard for me to follow because your budget's all lumped.
It's all, yeah.
So what does your average paramedic versus a sheriff, deputy, work?
Hour-wise or budget-wise?
Pay-wise.
Pay-wise.
Overall, including overtime, because we get the same story for them.
Right. No,
we put in more time, and we have this many more hours, then we don't manage that. I have no idea who does
So our average pay is right around 72,000. That's working 2,900 hours.
Okay.
A deputy works 2,080 hours, I think. That doesn't include extra overtime.
Correct, and I guarantee their numbers
Right.
will be skewed.
Sure, yes, definitely. That's one of the things I think we all run into.
Yeah, so it's not that far apart, am I wrong?
I would put them, I don't know what their last base pay was. I don't know. I thought it was around 55.
60,000 is what their base pay is currently.
Right.
I mean, and yours is lump sum, so could you why couldn't you, I know it might not be quote unquote a matrix, but you have that budget to disperse yourself, correct?
Right.
So you can create your own, that's why we did that. I kind of wish we could do it with them as well, right? Versus the matrix, but it's broke out different, the way the
Right.
line items are.
And
So
I'm open to ideas, it's just a matter of, I want to remain, I don't know what
to
the,
be honest, I don't know which employees deserve it, right?
right,
And I get it, like, well, longevity or, years of, sometimes that's not exactly fair or right. That's you work with them every day, so I feel like if I were in your shoes, and I'm not, I would almost rather have it to where you have this budget to disperse yourself versus, well, sorry, the matrix is set in place by the council.
right.
I wish I could help you out.
And that was one question I think with Beth is, with that, we have to have, obviously, we have to have a pay voucher and ordinance rates, and so that, I don't know how we, if we came up with something that worked within our budget, how do we ordinance that, or how is it approved? Is it approved by these guys? And that, I guess that's a new, I know our budget's definitely different. And so it's one of those things, and the reason why I'm asking is to try to stay competitive as much as we can.
Yeah, no, we don't
Some
want
things
you
we
to
just can't compete on, so.
No, I get it. I don't want you to have to fight turnover either, but on the same token, there's only so much.
Right, exactly.
So,
No,
like,
I agree, yeah.
And I don't have a clue who deserves what.
Right.
And as you, I feel like do.
And I know you guys have limits.
I don't-
Some line items to specify out, okay, this line item gets
Right.
$8,000.
So we weren't necessarily for, like, for the record, we cut that proposed matrix by 40%.
Right.
So it's not like it was this huge matrix. Like,
Right.
it wasn't, was it a win? Possibly.
Mhm.
It was also kind of a scapegoat in the fact that they don't have to no longer, it's years of service versus,
Sure.
well, sorry, this is how it is, versus it takes a little bit of the pressure off you guys when you're dealing with employees, right? Oh, sorry, this is how the council put in place. But I would much rather be on you guys for the simple fact that you know who deserves it and we
Right.
don't. So, and new hires might be worth more than a guy with tenure that's not pulling his weight. So, I would think I would rather have a lump sum to disperse accordingly versus follow a matrix.
Right.
But that's my thoughts.
I think to add to that, and I asked this question in the discussion a month ago around performance-based.
Right.
To me, Brent's spot on, that you have the pile, you know the performance, you can divvy it as
Sure.
necessary. But if the county as a whole does not have a performance-based program,
Right.
then you can implement it for your team. But,
Sure.
It's not
My
hard to say.
my career has been corporate type career where I have to deal with the performance goal. That has been just part of my work life since the beginning. So I've lived it. I'm not saying I agree with it all, but I've lived it.
Right.
And to me, that's a huge driver I've lived it. Depending on your performance is where your raise percent. I've never been a part of, well, in general, everybody gets the 4 or 5 or 6% raise. Your raise is dependent on your performance.
Sure.
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just don't know.
Right.
I don't know enough about
And-
your individuals to know that
And
to
the-
set the matrix, and I honestly have no clue how you would set it.
Yeah, if the mayor's base raise would, I think would be nice, but with 15 employees, I think it becomes difficult. If we had 1,000 employees, I think it's different because you would have, I think it's I'm trying to think the best word, the small working environment, I think definitely creates a situation. And, as a manager, I see that from people just picking up on what other departments see and get. And we don't get a lot of questions, but my goal is to stay ahead of it. And so, this is obviously a discussion and questions and what we can and can't do, I guess, is probably the big thing. Some things we may not have research that we can do, some things are hard no's, and so I don't know, like, I know in the past we've looked at legal can set a flat salary with an overtime rate. That's the way we were at Purdue, it was based on the average number of hours, we had a salary, anything above it was overtime. And so that made it easier because they didn't have to calculate hours worked. You were getting the same amount every week unless you worked additional beyond your schedule. And I think we're into some legal issues based on our pay. So, I'm not, I've had a lot of good and bad experiences in the HR world, but I don't know everything and I don't know what we can do. And so that's kind of why figured I would ask, we'll start the conversation, so we can stay as competitive as possible. We've got really great staff right now, and my goal is to keep them. Which I don't foresee a huge problem, but whatever I can do.
Do we have a salary ordinance for each of your
So,
paramedics or EMTs?
so usually how he does it every year is he'll send us a breakdown of who gets what percentage, and like the last couple of years when I've been involved with it, he's just done the flat raise of whatever you guys do. But I don't see why, if you were wanting to do more of a matrix, if you just broke out each individual employee and gave out, if you guys approved him doing a matrix and he stayed within whatever is budgeted within that payroll line, why he couldn't, I mean, technically, I think if you approve the matrix, he would be able to go over the 4% for certain people if need be, to make it to where, if you're wanting to do it based off longevity, but it would still need to stay between that, whatever's budgeted in that line.
Right.
Does that make sense?
The following year, the percent drops because the budget's just not there, so you take a 4% down to 2%, and that matrix, I know, has to be adjusted accordingly then, on a percentage basis. Is that how you can do that? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I'm not sure, it looked to me like maybe the definition of matrix.
Right.
The matrix that John was proposing was pretty stable.
Yes.
You know, to me, you just have a pool of money.
Right.
And you do with it as you please, as what everybody's been saying, that comes into management.
Sure.
Because we don't know, all I want is that EMT, that paramedic to set it, to show up when I need him. And you know the ones that are good and ones that aren't. We don't. That's the same things you ask of, me, okay, you're gonna tell me how much my employee should make. You don't know, I do.
Right.
So I'm gonna do it the way that I think and I think we would like to do that in every department.
Absolutely.
But no one wants to make that decision.
It's
No one
a
wants to
difficult
say,
decision.
you're only gonna get 2%, you're gonna get 5%.
Right.
To me, that's not our problem.
Sure.
And so we just do the 4%, and everybody gets the same, and the good ones that are working well get 4%, and the ones that aren't working get 4%.
The problem is with time that gap spreads then.
Exactly.
On a straight percentage.
The 4% to 10%, I looked around and talked to, Warren County and Kenneth, and they were 3 to 4. Inflation's less than 4. And most pay that I've read them, the research I've had, it's 2 to 3% is what people are getting in 2026. So, and that's not to say that your guys aren't, ladies aren't worth 10.
Right.
But it also gets tough when, everyone has different jobs. So to compare EMT and paramedics to sheriff to clerk, you can't do that. I mean, you can't be saying, well, they made 10, so you're dealing with people that, you could get an infection because you're dealing with them, they're getting shot at. So everything's different, it's pretty hard to.
Where is your longevity paid out of?
What's that?
Where is your longevity paid out of?
EMT, I think, the 1151.
This is the biggest year we've ever had as longevity, one, because Audrey came to work for us. Jonathan's been here for 20 years, and I finally have people that have been here 5 years. Like, this is a big year. I only have 2 people that have been here. Tracy and Bill have been 15, but other than that, there's a huge gap. So-
That's the other thing, they gave up their longevity.
Right, well, absolutely,
Longevity.
yeah.
So I mean, that was kind of when we did it years ago, longevity was kind of the matrix, you stayed there and I don't know perf versus longevity, I guess that would be a discussion for next year, put the numbers together and see what it looks like.
That's fine.
I mean, their employees, the county, it seems like they'd be eligible for that.
And I don't mind managing that, I don't want to come up with something and give the best, hey, we're gonna do this, and all of a sudden realize that we can't do that. I get to stay within the amount, but I don't wanna violate some statute.
Right, and I don't
do.
and I don't know that, what is the county highway? We give them a lump sum of money and
They do the same things, they just don't go over the percentage that you
So, I
guys.
mean, to me, when you get a lump sum of money, you're telling Beth, this person's here, so we're really not having a statute statute's only gonna apply with hourly rate.
Right. No,
You're on salary, so it doesn't,
No, they're-
hourly figured into it, but,
Right.
some of them are gonna tweak that, and when you say, okay, you know, employee X is worth this, that's what I want him to make this year, this person's gonna make this, and manage that, so. You know, if you wanna look at perf, then, you know, it'd be nice to start about April, figure
No,
out
that's fine.
what it's
Yeah,
gonna
no,
look
I-
like.
it's a
Because
process.
we don't wanna try to,
Yeah.
absorb all that in our August
And-
budget meeting.
And I, even going through it with the town, it was a lot more simpler than I expected it to be. Obviously, they have a system that helps do that, but, like I said, it's an option. I don't know if it's the best option or even an affordable option, but I'm not doing my job if I'm not asking.
Sure. And I guess, you know, and I don't know what the word in your departments are, but, you know, the matrix that John presented to us turned out a whole lot different than what it
Sure.
ended up getting.
Right.
And so they're like, gosh, these guys got 25%. No,
Right.
they got a half of what.
Right, no,
you know, with
yes,
those numbers.
and there's 7 deputies or 6 deputies,
Right.
and I have 15 employees, so the numbers, that's a total different
Exactly.
cost. though.
But the longevity you gave up last year, but you take your longevity pay, that's twice as much to play with in your matrix thing. So at the end of the day, you have as much, I feel like you got as much money given to you to do that. You just gotta fluctuate how you know what I mean? You could
Right.
create your own matrix, there's enough there for you to give, no more matrix than we gave them. So I don't know what they're hearing, but no more than what they got, you could easily create that with
Sure. Well,
longevity alone.
right, and the problem I run into is we have a county policy that says we have to give the longevity. So-
Right.
So that, I'd have to work around that and
Yes.
see how it would work out, so I.
Well, the workaround is there is no longevity, so that you don't have to work
Yes.
around it.
Right, well,
You
yeah,
just got,
but-
you got the group of money.
Yeah, so that's fine, if I opt to change that, since it is a handbook policy, how do I go about that? I guess that, you know, and that's something I can work with Beth and the commissioners on, so.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, really, if I look at that, you got 8,000, if that's what I'm looking at here for longevity.
But how
right?
much of that is your EMTs and your payroll, or your EMTs and your paramedics?
Well, you just took it by 17.
Cause you said Audra gets it, Jonathan
Yeah,
gets
so
it, so
they
those
get
two.
the 20-year amount, which is 1,500, so there's 3,000 of it.
Yeah, they're not gonna be a fan of
No.
the matrix.
Right, no, exactly, yes. I mean, if we had a department that was 10 years
Just so it's
young.
said.
Yeah, I don't know what they
Yeah,
heard
no, I agree.
the
No, I-
matrix was, so you're gonna have to sell that.
Right, yes, maybe we'll just give out rolls of quarters.
Yeah.
So, so what, I guess the biggest question is what I can do, and what I can't do. And so I'll work with Beth, that come up with some ideas, and it's only fair if you guys see those, because it affects our spending, I guess, and so.
I guess in the end, Jason, what you got is, you got EMT payroll here and X amount of dollars.
Right.
And from now till January 1, or whenever payroll needs to be set up, you need to say, okay, I'm just gonna keep it the same, or I'm gonna
Set up
adjust it
paramedics.
for my 7 paramedics or
Right.
whatever you have, this is what I want paramedic 1 to make, and it all's gotta stay within that dollar amount.
It's definitely a different time. In 2011, we'd hire somebody and we would start them out at $1 less, or whatever it might be. And now the EMS is so competitive hourly rate wise, they can go to Lifeline work, they can go to Warren County and work and make $3 or $4 more an hour. They may not be getting the same amount of hours, but that's just one of the things that we fight like any other job. You know, there's other opportunities out there, and it depends on what that person wants to. So yeah, definitely it's a different time in hiring individuals. So a lot has changed in that field. So, as you guys all know. Yeah.
We're doing our best.
No, I understand. Yeah. No.
And after 41 years at Purdue, and it would come down from up above, okay, this is your pool of money, and this is how many nickels you got to pass out to these 8 or 10 people. They'd do that for a while, then all of a sudden, up in the top brass, they would say, okay, everybody gets this amount across the board. So it was a juggling act, but if you didn't do performance appraisals, you know,
And we're in the process of starting those.
then that's good, that's good.
Because then you can justify it.
Yeah.
No, it's hard.
Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Jason, appreciate what you do.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason.
And I would be interested to see what you find out first.
Yeah, I can get all of them, the representatives we have for the
As
town.
long as you use, are you gonna use the same company we have for the highway?
It's the state, so,
Oh.
yeah, so there's a field representative that handles our area, I think, so
Okay.
I'll get all of them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, at this point in time, we need to approve the minutes, August 28th, 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Angie, second. Okay, any discussion? Everybody seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we had several transfers there.
So, the sheriff brought in a couple more yesterday, if you wanna look at them.
Those are next month, sorry.
It was for the jail, it was for his overtime line, I believe, was it overtime?
Holiday pay and custodial.
I'm sorry, custodian salary and holiday pay.
How is the custodian line need to move?
I think there was only like 2,000 or 3,000 budgeted for last year.
Have we made that adjustment this year?
That's what I'm
Or did he ask for more this year?
Is that the jail?
Custodian pay seems like
Yeah.
something that shouldn't have to.
Volunteer.
Seems like a line that should be pre-populated and not need additional.
I never remember custodial being in his budget.
It's like at the very top, it's on page 11. No, it's the same. What I'm gonna assume is I think it's always been 3,000, and with each year his pay increase, I don't think he's ever adjusted it, that would be my guess.
How much did he pay out last year? What page is that?
What's it say on the agenda?
Yeah, 2 to 43.
And why are we transferring into retirement funds? Dana, well, it's going, like, for recycling, it's
Recycling,
going
yeah.
from truck maintenance, utilities, building maintenance to retirement. So like,
I'm gonna assume they did budget enough. Cause I know Michelle asked me about that when she came in last week.
but we're.
Audrey always has me, what?
But we're in August.
Cause it's negative.
I know, but I'm saying we're in August, so are we gonna be transferring to retirement for the next 3 months to make sure?
No, I think she transferred more to cover the rest of the year.
Okay.
Like she asked me, Audrey always gave me a percentage to do like for the commissioner's budgets. And Michelle asked me about that, so I told her how I did it. And hopefully that should be enough to cover the rest of the year. I told her to do it that way at least.
I mean, those seem like line items that should be
Yeah,
good to go for the year and not have
No, I agree.
transfers into, I mean,
Yeah, I was surprised with retirement. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's not something that fluctuates, that should be,
and is that the perf? Or is that longevity that you're talking about?
No, it should be, recycling, I do believe should have perf. I have to double check on that, I don't remember.
So what do we have budgeted for custodial salary for the jail then for 2025?
it says 1620 on this year's cut sheet.
Yeah, I don't know why we had that. I guess that's what he asked for, so we couldn't change it.
Yeah.
It's always been higher, almost 3,000.
Yeah.
We should be okay for 2026. We budgeted 3,000, looks like. Okay. Any questions on the transfers? Just as long as they got money in their budget to transfer. Look for a motion to.
I'll make the motion to accept as presented. I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion by Brent, got a second by Ron to approve the transfers presented, which includes the last ones, Sheriff's Department. Any questions on those? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Is this the only one, this one's signed?
the next one. And then I did give you guys a 2026 schedule, if you wanna look over it, if there's any changes or questions, if not, we can move back to this one.
You do that today?
If you want, if you're okay with it, or if you wanna wait, that's fine, it's totally up to you.
I'll just wait till next meeting, that way we can look at our calendars.
That's fine.
Sure. Did you wanna talk about this deferral program sometime, or what would you do that best?
I mean, I guess I just sent it to you because it's gonna be your guys' decision if you wanna make some form of ordinance to do it. I personally don't know if it would be beneficial to us to do it, but
I'd say I talked to the treasurer yesterday and they said it wouldn't be.
What I read through, it just looks like it's just postponing someone paying taxes.
Correct.
And they're gonna get billed 4% a month.
Yeah,
That's how I read it.
and it's
Kinda
like
like
if you don't pay 6 months, you're just 10%, so you're already,
Yeah, you're better off just doing.
that's what they
40%.
said, you're better off.
Okay, well, I read that, I said, how is this beneficial to anybody?
Right, cause I read it too, and so I went and talked to them yesterday, I'm like, okay, explain this to me. And they're like, they're not really for it.
Okay.
I mean, personally, we already have a large list on tax sale as it is at this point. I mean, I don't know that something like that would be beneficial.
I thought it'd allow you to, if you're gonna sell your house or something, we'll defer it, we don't have to pay that taxes, so you don't have to get it back. But, yeah, it's just postponing what you owe and charging you a whole lot of interest to do it.
And I said, it would make more sense if they could set up like a monthly pay plan, which they said, you can come in anytime and pay, because we're gonna take your money. It's not like you have to wait every 6 months, if you feel like you can't.
Yeah, you could do $100 here. I mean, some employees have it taken out of their check every payroll. $50 here, $100 there, like,
Right.
I mean, it just depends on what you owe on your taxes and how they figure it.
It looks to me like it just pushed off a little more time before you go after and do a tax sale.
Right.
I don't know who came up with this, but it doesn't seem very beneficial for the taxpayer. I mean, for those that are gonna use it, they're gonna have a hard time paying it anyway. Now they're gonna pay 4% on top of the.
On top of what they couldn't afford to begin with.
Exactly. So we just write it off. I mean, at the end anyway.
It's just a way for them to say, yeah, I know I owe you money, but, you know,
I guess
come get me.
we'll defer to the treasurer. If she doesn't think it's a good deal,
No, she didn't, they're not for it.
they've obviously studied a lot more than we have. Okay. You wanna go, I hate to go line by line, but I think we need to go line by line just in case we miss something.
Totally up to you.
Yeah, do that.
First, the sheriff asked me to, I don't know what you would call it, I guess. The jail commander line, he requested 57,000 for her, which that's one that was discussed at the meeting. But now he's saying if you guys would approve the 57,000, then he would move her to exempt, so she wouldn't get overtime.
What page is that?
So the jail was on page 11, I think it was.
Yeah, page 11. The matron, you say?
No, the commander. So she's under first jailer. So the 50,800 is including her supplemental pay for the commander position, but he requested 57,000, and he's saying if you guys approve the 57,000, he will move her to exempt to where she cannot earn overtime, which
She's on
she gets the most, and I did a printout of what her gross pay is as of September 19th payroll, and she's already at 51,675.
but they actually save us money.
Correct.
first 6 months, about how much overtime she have, you know, approximately?
The first 6 months
Yeah, we can double it by 2.
of overtime, well, I don't have that off the top of my head.
Okay, so that, what's that as though?
This is as of September 19th payroll.
Okay, so that's 75%.
75%, yeah.
So 25% of that is,
Or 30%.
25 or 30?
pick it as a ballpark.
15,502. Which I mean,
More money ahead if we.
8,000 ahead.
the last time I looked at it, she was at 17,000, a little over $17,000 in just overtime, which I don't remember the date, but it was recent, within the last couple of months.
45.
So that's Christie Menard.
Yes. I mean, if you, and also like, we budgeted 45,000 last year for this year for her salary. And she's already at 51,675, so.
Because of overtime.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that overtime coming out of that 30,000 line?
Yes, the 1,200 line, or 12,000 line, whatever it's at.
But we're over budget on that one, correct?
Correct, yes.
So I guess I'm for it, but does she realize the pay cut?
Yeah, I mean, John talked to her, he said, I have the email, he said that he talked to her and she was okay with it. But she
But she also probably utilizes probably works more overtime.
She does. I mean, she's there a lot because she's one that
She's a perfectionist.
she
wants
like
make
she
sure
has
it's
to be
taken care
there. She doesn't want to leave the jailers there. Something like about if something were to go wrong, she would want to be there for them.
So she might save any money and not losing overtime. I guess that's, I don't know how you do it though, but I'm fine with it. If that's, because at the end of the day, it's gonna.
I mean, my understanding is this is just the first reading, so we haven't set anything. So, I mean, I assume the changes can be made back. I mean, you're not going over what he requested.
Are there laws around overtime that have to be followed? So if you are salary and you are working 60 hours, is there a law that says can't do that?
I wonder if the exempt.
So it's the exempt and the non-exempt,
Okay.
that's what it is. It's
Okay.
not if you're salaried or it doesn't go based off your salary or not. That was one thing that I learned a couple years ago because I just assumed salaried employees didn't get overtime.
Uh-huh.
I mean, but,
of. That's the definition of
It's-
salaried.
right, exactly. It's if you're exempt or non-exempt, which is what he's saying, she would be an exempt employee as
Okay.
far as no overtime.
So that status of exempt leaves you don't have to pay the overtime.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's what, and he's, in this email, he said, like, they talked about it, he's made it clear to her, and she's okay with it.
Okay.
If you guys were to approve what he requested for her.
So we ran into that with the judge last year, remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
But I don't think that passed. I don't think Indiana passed that, so. We run into the exempt and non-exempt, and he was saying, we found out they had to be paid even if, but.
The only thing this would get us in trouble is come future years, cause you bump that base salary so high, then we get back to percentage pay. And then the results get skewed rather quickly, you know?
Cause you can control overtime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so we might be kicking, I mean, I'm for it based on this year alone, but I'm afraid that next year's, then all of a sudden you've kicked the can and now we're trying to catch up the rest of the jailers
And if she's used to overtime, then she's there, you know, is she gonna say, okay, I'm gonna leave, and then halfway through next year, she's going, man, I'm working all this time, I only get paid this. I'm hoping John's not gonna come and say, you know, we gotta give her a couple $1,000, cause she really is working. Well, that's not what we agreed to.
Yeah. Well, if Jason finds out about this, we got another half hour next month.
Do we have enough budget in overtime, you think, for?
I think if you put her at what he requested, or
No, if we put her,
if you leave her where she is,
mhm.
no, cause that 30,000 is what he requested last year, and we're well over that.
No, we've already spent 36,000 this year, after 6 months.
Yeah, it's
And,
more than that.
wow, in overtime.
Is that because we added some jailers during the year, is that?
I know it,
We lost.
I know at the beginning of the year they weren't fully staffed, which I know he says reflects on the overtime, because obviously if you're not fully staffed, then more people are working overtime. But I feel like a good part of that portion, he has been fully staffed, but I don't know, I'm not over there, so I can't really.
And I have my notes, we had it open, got 3 open positions, so it was open in 2024, but it was filled in 2025. I thought he said he's full of staff, which should take care of the overtime, shouldn't it?
So he was fully staffed, yes, but he lost, recently he lost Olivia, and then he was keeping one open to cover the deficit of the overtime.
Is Preston still working? Or is he gone?
No, he is,
I mean, I know he's working in Oxford, but I didn't know if he was still doing time.
So we're down 2 then, 2 jailers.
there's 3 open positions, but the third one is the 11th jailer that you guys just approved, so yes, there's 2 open.
Is there overtime abuse?
I don't think so, I mean, I'm not over there to be able to say that, I mean, we just see the payroll stuff. I don't think, Cassie is usually pretty good about saying, like, if there's a red flag that she feels she wants to question or wants me to look at. I would say, I mean, I get being in a more administrative position and seeing and wanting to be there if something happens, but I feel like Christy's position is was supposed to be an 8 to 4 job, or 4:30 or whatever. That's why she was being paid just the 80 hours, and then once she hit 80 hours, she got overtime, because they assumed that she wasn't going to work that much overtime, so that they paid her how our matron is paid, as far as the 80 hours, and then once you hit 80 hours, you get overtime. And that's where the pickle happened, because she hits 80 hours and she gets so much money in overtime.
And I'm not accusing, I'm just asking,
No,
because I know there's both sides.
I'm not accusing you, I'm just
Yeah.
telling you how I see it, as from a payroll standpoint, I mean.
Well, on the surface, it makes sense. Just,
Which also we did switch to where she's with overtime, she is back to the 171. She'll start that January 1, that you guys did agree on that, so, I mean, that might make a difference if you're not wanting to bump her up too. I forgot about that. So she won't be making overtime until she hits that 171 mark, like the rest of the jailers.
what's your thoughts? If we got an open position still, if we have open positions, we can obviously draw the money out of those positions, because that's in payroll. So if it shows 30, we probably have 77,000.
Yeah.
We could use it, if all of them get filled, then it should take care of the overtime. Obviously this year, so we still got 3 positions open. Kind of like you, Bill, once it gets set, the next jail commander come in, they're gonna expect that's what the pay is, whether they have any experience or not.
Well, and maybe that's something that we're not gonna micromanage his employees and tell him who to hire, but he doesn't have to pay them the 57,000 when they come in as commander.
Right.
It needs to be someone who's who's worth it, or just pay them what they're worth. I mean, just because that money's there doesn't mean he has to spend it.
Yeah.
You know what the easy thing to do is,
Yeah,
Yeah,
good luck.
and if you want, I mean, if you want to try it for a year for the 171, and for the overtime change of when she hits overtime, I mean, if you're worried about bumping it that much.
Because I'm more worried about maintaining the personnel. If he's got someone that he,
I mean, I don't think that.
I don't think she'll
Just do or
leave
die
either,
type of
but,
thing, but
no, but at the same time, is this her way of saying,
But you think,
I think he brought it to her.
you think it's his way to try and mitigate the overtime?
Yes, I think that's what he's trying to do. I don't think it's a she's gonna leave type of deal. I think he's just trying to find a way to eliminate the excess of spending on overtime.
for our position, we're saving $7,500 or $8,000, so I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
If we're, the fiscal body, that we're trying to save taxpayer dollars.
And then we just address when it comes around next time, we'll have to make an adjustment,
I mean, you can individually,
bring it back down
yeah, I mean,
at the next budget time cycle, if it's out of line, so.
And that position's got more responsibilities than the other jailers.
yes, she's over the jailers and she does all the I don't know everything she does, but for what I do know, she does all the scheduling. I do believe she lines up all the transports for the inmates and all that. I know she does majority of the transports with John or another jailer, depending on who's on shift, I think, but there's a lot
she's
more.
the point of contact for the physician coming in and the nurse that is there as well. Just say I talked to Christine and I talked to the nurse.
So on page 11, then the first jailer, that would be 57,000 instead of 50,800, is that correct?
Correct. So do you take the 6,200 out of overtime? So it stays the same budget wise?
Well, that,
Take 6,200 off of that 30,000,
uh,
or no?
depends on how much overtime everybody else is getting.
Okay, so we're just going up 6,200 on the overall budget for now, and hoping that it'll save us in the long run.
So just leave it,
57,000.
but leave the overtime amount.
Or it just seems overtime is the thing we get hit on every year.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna be over, so you're right, I just didn't know if we had to adjust it accordingly to make up the ends of those already.
You're not over what the total requested budget was,
It
so
isn't.
you're good.
It just takes our cut.
Cut
Yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah.
6,200,
That too, yeah.
which is fine.
So it would be the last page. The 59, or 559, 876. Would be 553, 676.
We got $6,200 less on our cut, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what the,
add 6,200 to your 14,532 overall.
Yep. Okay. Okay, anything else? I'm hoping not.
no. So you want me to go line by line then?
Yeah.
Okay. Starting on the first page, the clerk. 52,902, 39,662, 34,492, 34,492, 1,000, 1,500, 800, 2,500, 400, for a total of $167,748. Auditor, $56,978, $38,780, $41,159, $38,780, $500, $2,500, $600, $600, $1,000, $3,000, for a total of $183,897. Treasurer, $53,371, $39,749, $1,000, $4,200, $2,079, $924, $1,260, $504, $630, $360, $720, $960, $330, for a total of $106,387. Recorder, $54,660, $39,722, $1,000, for a total of $95,382. Sheriff, $91,757, $64,200, $65,700, $62,250, $64,200, $62,700, $3,000, $2,500, $15,000, $2,000, $64,200, $60,000, $9,400, $82,685, 0, $5,000, $50,000, $6,000, $20,000, $10,000, $5,000, $1,500, $3,000, $10,000, $2,000, $2,000, $14,443, $10,000, $45,000, $7,500, $6,000, $5,500, for a total of $852,535. Surveyor, $52,852, $38,707, $26,293, 0, 0, $1,000, $1,750, 0, for a total of $121,602. Coroner, $14,093, $3,821, $3,715, $3,715, $2,000, $15,000, $1,500, $500, 0, $500, $1,500, $1,000, for a total of $47,344. Assessor, $62,131, $1,000, $1,000, $500, for a total of $64,631. Prosecutor, $61,002, 0, $2,650, $200, $400, $1,000, $8,100, $1,500, $400, $500, $800, $3,000, for a total of $79,552. Registration, $1,200, $400, $300, $300, for a total of $2,200. Extension, $47,500, $16,848, $30,884, 0, $4,550, $300, $1,200, $4,160, $900, $5,720, 0, $3,300, $2,040, for a total of $117,402. Veterans Office, $18,375, $700, $600, 0, $19,675 is the total. Drainage Board, $5,922, $3,957, $3,300, $1,320, $400, $2,100, $5,000, for a total of $21,999. Peterborough, $2,500, $100, for a total of $2,600. Commissioners, $58,662, 31,041, 5,054, 2,500, 25,000, 203,232, 106,704, 15,000, 415,000, 3,500, 4,796, 5,400, 0, 115,000, 57,703, 6,000, 3,500, 4,500, 2,500, 500, 150, 15,000, 5,000, 46,000, 3,000, 2,000, 149,000, 450,000, 8,300, 4,500, 60,000, 15,000, 9,800, 2,000, 4,500, for a total of 1,888,442. Plan Commission, 2,000, 1,000, 25,000, 795, 1,000, 5,000, 400, 200, 1,500, 1,500, 300, for a total of 38,695. Election, 6,300, 9,500, 10,000, 2,000, 300, 3,000, 50,000, 2,000, 2,800, 300, 1,500, 400, 2,000, 1,200, 800, 100, for a total of 92,200. Courthouse, 49,754, 15,000, 0, 9,971, 3,241, 200, 700, 159,157, 2,420, 2,662, 700, 9,680, for a total of 253,485. Circuit Court, 5,000, 58,650, 59,156, 100, 1,000, 15,000, 150,000, 6,000, 10,000, 1,250, 4,000, 2,000, 1,000, 100, 500, 500, 200, 200, for a total of 314,656. Probation, 96,007, 33,125, 61,949, for a total of 191,081. Emergency 911 dispatch, 45,032, 45,032, 45,032, 45,032, 45,032, 45,032, and 3,000, for a total of 273,192. FEMA, 24,710, 8,649, 7,800, 87,228, 10,600, 0, 1,200, 3,600, 1,500, 7,000, 7,000, 100, 100, 1,000, 1,500, 2,500, for a total of 164,487. Jail, 3,000, 61,200, 5,000, 40,066, 0, 46,800, 14,600, 4,900, 30,000, 4,000, 46,800, 57,000, 46,800, 46,800, 46,800, 46,800, 46,800, 46,800, 46,800, 46,800, 45,000, 3,250, 30,000, 10,000, 1,000, 60,600, 2,500, 22,000, 10,000, 67,000, for a total of 981,916. Marathon Clinic, 65,000, 3,000, 0, 500, 5,000, for a total of 73,500. Recycling, 51,700, 45,427, 500, 10,000, 500, 1,000, 4,200, 3,500, 17,500, 1,500, for a total of 135,827. Retirement Village, 40,000, for a total of 40,000. Title 4D, 61,000 to 14,760, 1,200, 800, 200, 936, 120, 500, 8,100, 300, for a total of 87,918. Soil conservation, 40,836, 1,000, 37,647, for a total of 79,483. Fair board, 30,000, 20,000, for a total of 50,000. Grand total for county general is 6,541,636.
That would be
But you
60.
gotta add.
Oh, I forgot that, yes, sorry. So county general for a grand total is 6,547,836. Okay. Edit 70,000, 5,000, 1,000, 500, 3,135, 5,000, 3,000, 1,500, 3,000, 330,000, 500, 200,000, for a total of 622,635. Hume Bridge, 180,000, 300,000, for a total of 480,000. Hume Cap, 242,000, for a total of 242,000. Hume Jail, 15,000, 50,000, for a total of 65,000. Drug Free Community, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, 4,000, for a total of 16,000. EMS, 482,700, 8,424, 33,696, 200,000, 45,000, 12,000, 2,500, 8,000, 48,000, 5,000, 45,000, 3,500, 2,000, 7,000, 34,000, 3,100, 22,000, 28,000, 2,500, 4,000, 2,000, 5,000, 4,100, 1,000, 10,000, 5,000, for a total of 1,023,520. County Health, 15,000, 42,592, 13,520, 5,668, 1,500, for a total of 78,280. Local Public Health Service, 7,144, 34,175, 62,866, 24,994, 10,610, 595, 2,000, 1,000, for a total of 143,384. Local Road and Street, 30,000, 50,000, for a total of 80,000. Public Safety is 58,687, 28,080, 336,960, 33,966, 33,000, 110,000, for a total of 600,423. MVH restricted, 330,000, 720,000, 250,000, for a total of 1,300,000. County Highway, 66,158, 43,242, 8,750, 31,263, 1,500, 200, 1,500, 1,200, 20,000, for a total of 173,813. County Highway Maintenance and Repair, 819,853, 2,646, 32,000, 100,000, 20,000, 5,000, 6,000, 3,000, 6,550, for a total of 995,049. County Highway General Undistributed, 72,000, $110,000, $200,000, $370,000, $40,000, $15,000, $2,400, $35,000, $60,000, $6,500, $6,000, $20,000, $1,500, $250,000, $5,000, for a total of $1,193,400. Total highway is $2,362,262. County plat, $5,000, for a total of $5,000. Recorder's perpetuation, $6,000, $2,000, $2,000, $2,500, $1,500, $2,000, $8,000, $100. For a total of $24,100. Elected officials training fund, $1,002, $1,002, $1,002, $1,002, $1,002, $1,002, $1,002, for a total of $6,012. Statewide 911, $13,000, $45,032, $45,032, $3,090, $15,000, $71,280, $8,000, $25,000, $4,000, for a total of $229,434. Reassessment, $39,720, $4,000, $3,620, $1,900, $4,725, $600, $62,000, $5,000, $7,800, $1,200, $2,700, $20,000, for a total of $153,265. Adult probation, $64,538, $3,825, $15,000, $6,000, $4,000, $6,000, $15,000, $2,250, $7,500, $3,500, $12,500, $39,000, $3,500, $1,500, $5,000, $6,000, $10,000, for a total of $205,113. Juvenile probation, $950, $3,500, $4,000, for a total of $8,450. Misdemeanor user fee fund, $2,000, $2,500, for a total of $4,500. Infraction user fees, $3,000, $3,000, for a total of $6,000. User fees, $2,000, for a total of $2,000. Infraction penalty, $6,000, for a total of $6,000. Megawatt, $30,000, for a total of $30,000. Wind tourism, $1,000, for a total of $1,000. Amazon Wind Project, $50,000, for a total of $50,000. Jordan Creek Wind Farm, $55,000, for a total of $55,000. Mainstream Fiber, $20,800, $15,600, $40,000, $10,000, for a total of $86,400. BCG Community Investments, $100,000, for a total of $100,000. Health Bioterrorism Fund, $2,370, $87, for a total of $2,457. Immunization Cooperative Agreement, $1,845, for a total of $1,845. Ebola Supplemental Grant, $794, for a total of $794. Overall total for all funds is $14,538,710.
Did you say?
$14,538,710.
Okay, mine says 532,000.
We had 6,200.
Yeah,
The
that was the,
6,200.
yes.
Thank you.
For the, health preparedness, health bioterrorism.
Yes,
that Payroll line,
yes. Which one?
so,
For Heather?
yeah,
So she is paid out of 1161 on page 18. That's where she's been paid out of, but Kathy said that there's still money in the health bioterrorism fund. Cause they've gotten money, it's a grant fund,
yeah.
so
Well,
she,
cause and I could be wrong, cause I don't have anything marked out, but they requested 18,546.
correct, but previously it was budgeted for 25, there was only 2,279. the 4% of 2,279 is the 2,370.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we weren't trying to change where she was paid out of
No,
because
she's
of all the.
they switched her to be paid out of 1161
Okay.
originally, but since there's money in that fund still, Kathy was trying to use it, but
I just wanna make sure that it went with the 4%.
yeah, nope.
Okay, you don't need a motion to approve the first reading, do we?
I would just in case.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve the first reading.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, got a second? Got a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Anything you'd like to say?
Nope. I'm Penny Titus, I'm with Congressman Jim Baird's office, and I come to commissioners meeting, and I've not ever been able to get to one of your council meetings, and today it worked into my schedule, so, and I knew you'd probably be talking about the budget, so it's always interesting to go around and listen to the different counties and their budgets and report back to the congressman what's going on out here.
Any recommendations that other counties are doing well?
No, cause they're all so different. You know, Benton County's one of the smaller counties in the district, and we had a conversation before most of you got in here. I used to be the recorder in Carroll County, so, I mean, we're kind of in that mode, like the EMS gentleman was saying, you know, people are leaving to go. Well, Carroll County is a bedroom community to Tippecanoe County, White County, Cass County, Clinton County, and Howard County, so we also have that issue in our county. I mean, we don't have a lot of tax base in our county, other than ag, basically. Indiana Packers being the largest employer, but other than that, we just don't have a lot of tax base that comes in, so, they struggle. They're struggling there just as every other county, small county is right now, not knowing what's coming down the pipeline.
And then Kelsey, this is my accounts payable and receivable deputy. Kelsey, she's been with us since February. She will be doing my meeting next month because I will be at conference. So she sat in this one to see how it went.
Did you let her know that's the second reading?
Yeah.
So you'll be doing everything that Beth just did all over again.
We might go total.
I was gonna say, it's usually total, so it'll go a lot quicker.
Nope, she's gotta read them all. Okay.
That's all right.
The assignment is to come up with some really tough questions for next week.
Oh, good.
Dig into the finances.
So can I ask one question? How much are you cutting your budget from like this year to next year? I mean, total wise, what's the cut that you're looking at saving, I guess, from this year to next year?
Well, I don't know, we cut, I mean, the budget's higher than it was last year, but we were able to cut for the requested amounts.
Okay,
About 550,000
550,000, okay,
from the requested.
from the request.
What, does it have what it was last year, our budget?
It would be in your binder probably. Or actually, no, it's on this one too. So approved last year was overall 14,192,825, and approved for this year is 14,000,000.
We're about 400,000 higher,
Okay,
and that's with cutting the county home, so we
Yeah.
that helped quite a bit, but then we're over 400 above that.
okay. Yeah, Carroll County struggles with their county home as well.
But we're not struggling anymore,
Well,
unfortunately.
several years ago in Carroll County, they made the decision that they needed to be self-sufficient and not get a lot of money from the county. And then over the years, and then COVID really, really hurt because they couldn't take people in, you know, and some people passed away. So then they were stuck. And so it's been a fight. I mean, I think part of the people would like to just close it down. but we have a really nice county home. It's still very livable. They put elevators in to make it accessible for people, so, it's a struggle.
Well, I mean, I don't think ours was because of the structure, because it's just
No,
the
we'd
numbers. you
Just
know.
the numbers, yeah.
That's tough.
And employees.
I don't know that, trying to find help.
Well, and that's a struggle too, cause you can't, the pay that they pay those people is not enough to do what some of them do, so.
Okay, we'll look for motion to close the meeting.
I'll make the motion to close.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, see everybody in a month, good job.
Thank you for letting me be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Do you want,
No, you can keep that.
no, that,
Jackie.
oh, Jackie's, I didn't know if you